Candle Cove. June 5, 2009/famous creepypasta. Strange and unexplained. Technology, the internet, and the deep web, television and lost episodes/America, Candle Cove. Net Nostalgia Forum -television, local. Sky Shale 033. Subject, Candle Cove local kids show? Does anyone remember this kids show? It was called Candle Cove and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on a local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Arlington at the time. I don't remember which station, but I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 p.m. Mike_Painter65. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 years old in '72. Candle Cove. Was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl. Sky Shale 033. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? Why yes. Okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls, real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll, looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember what station this was. I don't think it was WTSF though. JRN_2005. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? Sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what show you mean, Sky Shale. I think Candle Cove ran for only a couple months in '71, not '72. I was 12 and I watched it a few times with my brother. It was channel 58, whatever station that was. My mom would let me switch to it after the news. Let me see what I remember. It took place in Candle Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily. And there was calliope music constantly playing. Don't remember the girl's name. Janice or Jade or something. Think it was Janice. Sky Shale 033. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock and Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face, with the lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea and it had that awful Edwin voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden/plastic model, to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. Mike_Painter65. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? How I remember now too. Do you remember this part, Sky Shale? You have to go inside. Sky Shale 033. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? Ugh Mike, I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. That's what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in, like a cave or a dark room where the treasure was. And the camera would push in on Laughingstock's face with each pause. Why oh you have TOGO. Inside. With his 2 eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw and the fishing line that opened and closed it. Ugh. It just looked so cheap and awful. You guys remember the villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar mustache above really tall, narrow teeth. Kevin_Hart. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when this show was on. Nightmare fuel. JRN_2005. Subject, reply, Candle Cove local kids show? That wasn't the villain, The puppet with the mustache. That was the villain's sidekick, Horace Horrible. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to think that meant he had only one eye. But yeah, the villain was another marionette. The Skin Taker. I can't believe what they let us watch back then. Kevin_Hart. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? Jesus H. Christ, the Skin Taker. What kind of a kids show were we watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings, just a dirty skeleton wearing that brown top hat and cape. And his glass eyes that were too big for his skull. Christ almighty. SkyShell033. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? Wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin? Mike_Painter65. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? Yet I think so. Remember his mouth didn't open and close, his jaw just slid back and forth. I remember the little girl said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the Skin Taker didn't look at the girl but at the camera and said, "Tio, grind your skin." SkyShell033. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory. A bad dream I had where the opening jingle ended. The show faded in from black, and all the characters were there, but the camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming, and the puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically, and just all screaming. The girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up many times from the nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. Kevin_Hart. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode. SkyShell033. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? No, not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean literally just standing in place crying and screaming for the whole show. Kevin_Hart. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that, but I swear to God I remember seeing what you described. They just screamed. Jaren_2005. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? Oh God. Yes. The little girl, Janice, I remember seeing her shake. And the Skin Taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly I thought it would come off its wire hinges. I turned it off and it was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother and we didn't have the courage to turn it back on. Mike_Painter65. Subject, reply, Candle Cove Local Kids Show? I visited my mom today at the nursing home. I asked her about when I was little in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9 and if she remembered the kids show, Candle Cove. She said she was surprised I could remember that and I asked why. And she said, because I used to think it was so strange that you said, "I'm gonna go watch Candle Cove now Mom," and then you would tune the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show. Credit, Chris Straub. Credit, Chris Straub. Source, this story is from Cedar Falls, an